lighting kit and sound kit, that's quite normal now, isn't it? That you're the camera operator, but you're also doing the lighting and the sound.
Yeah, before I started, maybe 20, 25 years ago, on a news job, Granada would send out a cameraman, an assistant cameraman, a soundman, an assistant soundman, an electrician who would do all the lighting. You'd have possibly a producer, definitely a researcher, and possibly a director, and also the journalist, or the presenter. Now that's just two people's jobs. So I do all the camera, do all the sound, do all the lighting, and I'm effectively the director on site as well. And I work closely with the journalist who will do all the producing, all the researching and all the presenting as well. So where you used to have maybe 7 people out of a job, you just got 2 people now. Because again, that's it's financial constraints.
And even 5 years ago when I was doing corporate stuff, you were still getting a camera operator, a camera assistant, a sound recordist, maybe an AP and a director, which again is just massive. And I'd chat to Mike about that and he'd go, wow, that's amazing, because I'm doing news which is being broadcast and it's me and the journalist.
But the difference there is the money, isn't it?
It's the money, yeah, because for corporates they can charge an awful lot of money if you're doing a corporate for a bank, whereas as Mike's already explained, for news, they don't necessarily, for ITV, they don't necessarily want to spend huge amounts of money on it, but they do still want it to look great and be interesting at a local level. Yeah. Sorry, I just wanted
you're absolutely right. It's all about multi-skill in news. Everyone takes on so many different roles, but you've still got to make a programme that looks like it's been done by 10 times enough people that have done it. Because the viewer doesn't care that we've had budget cutbacks. If they want to watch the best programme they can watch. So you're constrained to that, really.
That point will come home, because Mike is limited for time. What we're going to do is we're going to have a look a little bit at some of the stuff that Mike shot, because we probably haven't got time for that, I don't think.
If you want to keep hold of it, mate.
For example, like when he's shooting a story out, was that in, say it was in Peru?
Yeah.
And so you've still got to shoot this beautiful kind of feature, because they've spent a lot of money in sending you to Peru, and you got ill whilst you're out there.
Yeah, so I don't just work solely in the Northwest. If you can put a Northwest angle on a story, we can go abroad and do it. So I've filmed Ricky Hatton in Las Vegas, Amir Khan in New York. I think there's some stuff there. I've done Champions League finals. I've done World War I veterans in France and stuff like that. And one year, we used to every year do like a charity event, which I don't know if you know Paul Cronus.
You'll recognise him.
You'll recognise his face. He's kind of like the goofy entertainment
reporter for Granada, yeah.
So he did a sponsored walk to raise money for a charity in Peru, and we went and did a half-hour programme out in Peru about it. So it was involved going up the Andes, going down the Amazon River, doing all sorts of stuff. It was a good sort of 15 hours to get there on a flight. As soon as I got there, I came down with some bug, and it's a nightmare because you're going up into altitude and you're puking up and you're feeling like crap, but you've got to do the story anyway. So again, it's like no one really cares what it looked. No one cares how you got it done. You just got to get it done.
And no one knows, do they?
Yeah, no one knows. Yeah, you watch a piece, if it looks crap, and it's because I've been ill the whole time, no one cares. So you've got to do the best you can do in all sorts of situations. So, I mean, if you want to show them that.
We will, yeah, and it's a beautiful film, and it just really kind of hit home to me, because I've been on shoots before, I've been ill, and I've just been like, I've got to go home, I can't do this. Mike's in the middle of the rainforest in Peru.
Yeah, and you're sleeping on boats, and you feel like crap, and you're off your head on malaria tablets, but you get up, and the adrenaline gets you through it, and you just do it, and it's...
And you watch the filming, and it looks fantastic. It looks beautiful.
Hopefully you can't tell that the cameraman's ill for the whole thing. So you don't have to be scared of the camera. If you want to have a look through the eyepiece.
Don't be scared of it. These are the new Sony 500s.
Yes.
So what we're talking in terms of including the body and the lens.
With all this kit on, it's probably 35 to 40,000 pounds.
Yeah. Don't be shy though. Jump on.
Well, this is 400 quid. So.
Go and touch it. You won't.
Honestly, you can't break it. I can show you what we mean in terms of file systems now. So before,
Come on.
This is the little slot here for the card, so you've got 2 slots. So one immediate benefit you can do is you can put 2 cards in. So if I shoot 20 minutes of footage and someone else from ITN comes along and goes, oh, I need that footage to take away, before I'd have to give them the tape. And if I see that tape again, great, but you're relinquishing the footage. Now I can just copy it over in 3 minutes, so they can take all the footage away. So you couldn't do that before, and what it means is, rather than having to spool through tapes and stuff, you've got all these now. Let's see if there's anything on it actually. So they're all individual files. So if I want to go and look at this file, I'll just go to it, I'll select it, and then you can just immediately play it back. So if the journalist goes, right, I want to see that interview, I want to see my piece to camera, I want to see, whatever it is they want to see, you can say, right, I don't even know what this is.
And journalists and presenters are notoriously kind of vain, and they want to see their performance. They're not necessarily looking at how good the camera work was. They want to see whether or not their hair looked good, or whether or not you can see the spot that they've been sticking concealer on all morning. Yeah. So often when I'm shooting on tape, I have a similar thing, and they want to see it back, you're kind of a bit like, well, I don't really want to show it you back, because there's always that risk you might record over it by accident or clip the end, there's a danger that the tape spooling there's all sorts of things that can go wrong when you review tapes. It does go wrong, yeah. Which is why I always tell these lot, because we're still shooting on tape, that they should never go back and review it. If they think that it needs doing it again, just shoot it again. There's no point in potentially recording over something. But again, with this system, you get rid of that kind of risk.
Say if one of them ran out, will that automatically move to the next one if you have 2 of it?
Yeah, so you can. That will record 60 minutes in HD. So I could have 2 cards in, and it'll just immediately, without missing even a second, go to the next card. Because these essentially now, whereas with tapes, they're all solid state machines. They have heads that drive it, and then it's recorded to it. These are just computers now. So you're putting your card in, and it's essentially working like a laptop. So you would never miss anything, because it wouldn't skip a beat in that way that tape could. So.
Sorry, it's horrible. Yeah, I know. That's brilliant, Mike. Thank you very much. Really, really useful. It's covered all of the learning outcomes. Some really good
If there's any other questions, or you want to have a play yourself?
But it'd be useful. I mean, just to have a look through the viewfinder, if you turn it on to camera and see if you can tell me anything different about when you look in the viewfinder there compared to your cameras. Go on, Liz.
Go for it.
Which eye?
Oh,
whichever eye. Well, I'm actually a bit unusual because I've got one dodgy eye, so I use my
black and white.
It's black and white.
But you've got a colour monitor there.
But that's what I was, because professional cameramen generally shoot on professional cameras with black and white viewfinder, and that helps you an awful lot with things like focus. It's much harder to focus with a colour viewfinder, but you'll find a lot of the cameras we shoot on, that your mum or dad might have on down the beach, are always colour viewfinders.
It looks a bit like Tron, because the metal bits are highlighted and the marks. Yeah, it's black and white, but then the writing's kind of a different colour.
Yeah, again, see, you've got that helps you to pick out the different information in terms of running time and things like that. Just that kind of having that slight contrast difference. So you shoot with your.
I shoot with my left eye. Yeah.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, which is quite unusual because most people shoot with this eye, so they can see. I mean, you shoot with one eye shut, but you could then see what's going on around you. But I've got a really crap eye, and that eye's fine, so I shoot with that eye. So I'm kind of hidden in a little bit. I'm kind of trapped behind here, but.
Which
just adjust.
Potentially
quite unusual.
Can make it difficult if you're in a situation like Reese was talking about before, where one useful thing about being a camera operator is I'm often using my left eye to kind of look out for danger, particularly if I'm shooting motorsport or cars, kind of things coming towards me. Whereas you don't have that luxury.
No, exactly. I'm using the force just to see what's going on.
And your extensive experience.
Yeah. But that's interesting what you say about experience, because with news it's very reactive, so you don't really know what's going to happen most of the time. You can plan as best you can, but I'll go into a situation, I go into someone's house, I don't know what their house looks like, I've never met the person before, I've got to do an interview of them, I've got to do setup shots and editing shots just to tell a nice picture. I don't know if their house is a complete tip, or if they've got a nice room that we can do it in. I'll go into the house and improvise straight away. I'll work it out really quickly and then crack on. And equally, you go into situations like a riot. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know where people are coming from, but you kind of, through experience, you kind of get a sense of where the danger is, where the safe points are, where, you know, it's a hard thing to sort of teach, but you kind of learn where the safe situations are and where the dangerous situations are, or what's going to happen. You know, if you think something's going to happen over here, you'll try and get your camera in there. You'll try and.
So you were saying about the Khan, was it the Khan weigh-in?
Yeah. So there was Amir Khan fighting in New York against Paulie Malignaggi, and I just kind of got a sense that there was a bit of tension in the room, and it was just sort of on the edge of kicking off. And one thing, I mean, all cameras have a zoom lens. You can go all the way to the back of a room, zoom down to the front of a lens, and catch what you catch. But nothing beats going and standing next to a situation and being part of it and trying to get in the middle of it. And it all kicked off in this press conference. The fighters squared up, people were throwing punches, and I'm sort of in the middle of it, which is kind of scary at the time, but it's great. It's, you know, it's really exciting, and that's the shot you want to have. You know, they want the shot next to you having the fight. You don't want to be across the room going, oh, it all happened over there. So it's about being able to read a situation and put yourself in that right place, and then when it does happen, catch it all. Because you can't say, oh, hang on, I missed that. Can you all start a fight again, please? You know, you've got one go at it, so you've got to get it right the first time.
On the flip side, when I shoot motorsport, producer often tells me to get closer, and I say, sod you, that's what the zoom's for.
Yeah. Well, yes. I don't want to kill myself either.
Because cars coming at you at 150 miles an hour.
Yeah.
I'm not as quick as Mike, so I tend to go a little bit further away. Yeah. Right, that is definitely, I know you need to shoot off. So I'd love to get a picture of us outside the front. The only problem is it's 11 o'clock. So, most people should have finished by 8, so we shouldn't have too many of the goons hanging around. So I'll go grab one of the photography students and we'll just get a shot of you out the front of the building with the students if we can, sure, for Twitter and Facebook.
Yep,
Thank you very much. Nice round of applause for Mike. So we'll do this, guys.
Camera, by the way. Do you want to see how heavy it is? Some people are quite surprised.
Lewis, what do we